I'm going to break down the top 5 teams in the SEC that are most likely to choke away a game they are favored in according to the last 10 seasons. Let's double click on that. Coming in at number 5 are the SEC darlings that everyone is predicting to compete with Georgia for the SEC crown, the Texas Longhorns. In the last 10 seasons, the Texas Longhorns are 80-18 in games in which they are favored. The average spread in those games was set to -9 with an average of a 70.6% pre-game win probability. Half of those losses came at home set at a 70.1% win probability, and the away games with a 71% win probability. The most upsets came at the hands of the Oklahoma State Cowboys and Texas Tech Raiders with 3 apiece. The largest upset came back in 2021 to the Kansas Jayhawks with a 98.4% pregame win probability. The largest upset of any team on this list, and the 6th largest upset in the last 10 years. The Longhorns are averaging 1.6 upset losses per season, with 6 of those seasons ending with 2 upset losses each. Which games this season will the Longhorns let people down in? At number 4, the up-and-coming Missouri Tigers with a record of 74-17. Missouri lost 10 of these at home and 7 on the road. The teams that have upset the Tigers the most are Kentucky at 4 and South Carolina at 3, with the largest upset falling to Vanderbilt back in 2019 with a pregame win probability of 92.6%. They have also lost to the likes of Wyoming, Indiana, and Middle Tennessee. The average spread for these games was set to -6, with the average win probability set to 65%, 62% at home, and 68% on the road. They are averaging just 1.5 upset losses per season, with 4 straight seasons with 1 loss or less. Can they go back-to-back seasons with no upset losses? The Florida Gators are 3rd, with an 85-20 record in games they are favored. The average spread in these losses was -8.3 with a 69.1% pregame win probability. The Gators lost 12 of these games at home at a 69.2% pregame win probability and 8 on the road at a 68.9% probability. Their biggest upset came to Georgia Southern back in 2013 with a likelihood of winning that game set to 97.1%. This is the first loss on this list to an FCS opponent, but it won't be the last. Florida is averaging just under 2 upset losses per season at 1.8 games each year. 6 out of the last 10 seasons, the Gators have 2 or more losses in which they were favored. Florida has the most upset losses in the SEC in the last 10 seasons, and the 6th most games in which they are favored. South Carolina comes in at number 2 with a record of 62-15. 7 of their 15 losses occurred in Columbia, South Carolina, at a 70% pregame win probability, while 8 happened on the road at a 65.5% probability. Total, they were favored in these games at 67.6% and an average spread of -7.1. The Kentucky Wildcats have the most upset wins over the Gamecocks with 4 games, with Missouri and Tennessee being tied for 2nd at 3 games each. South Carolina's biggest upset loss came to the Citadel back in 2015 at home with a pregame win probability of 92%, joining Florida as the 2nd team suffering a loss to an FCS opponent. They are averaging 1.4 upset losses per season. Shane Beamer has yet to yield more than 1 upset loss per season during his tenure at South Carolina. Can he turn things around and surprise some people this season? The team that has the worst winning percentage as a favorite in the SEC in the last 10 seasons is the Arkansas Razorbacks. The biggest shocker is that 76% of their upset losses came at home with an average win probability of 68% and a spread of -7.7. Their biggest upset loss was to Toledo in 2015 with a 92.6% win probability, but they also have losses to San Jose State, Liberty, and North Texas. The Razorbacks are averaging just 1.5 upsets per season, but losing these types of games has become routine over the years. These are the teams you should keep an eye on when they're the betting favorite this year. Which teams are going to make you upset this year?